All right, so here I am for my fourth attempt on this. My first attempt, I made a half an hour unboxing video where you would actually see the other plain brown FMS box. This comes in and then I pull it out and ta-da! What I didn't realize is that my little microphone crapped out on me a couple minutes in. So I wiped that video out. Then I find out there's something wrong with it, this thing. So I made a video because I was pissed off. Then I took it down because I thought nobody wants to sit there and listen to me whine about something that happened with this, but I think people should know about it. Then I do a third video last night, and I've been having problems with my phone, and I was using this iMovie app, and so I could, cut parts of a video and make it into one, and so forth and so on. Well, that didn't work because then my memory on my phone is going. It's saying I don't have enough. I'm deleting apps. I'm doing this, and I'm about to snap my phone in half. So I'm thinking, hell with it. So I ordered an external camera that I'm going to try to hook up to my laptop and make videos that way. I'm just going to make them like this, raw on my phone. There'll be no intro, fancy logo, or anything like that, or no transitions. It'll just be a raw, uncut video with mistakes and whatever you want to say, because I'm going to have to download it directly from my videos to YouTube. I can't use an app. I don't have enough space. So in any event, here's my quick review. I'm going to put some old parts. And what annoys me the most is that toe shifter. Lately, he and I have been talking about tires being tucked and untucked under fenders and things of that nature. And he's a big tucker, huge tucker. That guy. I'm not. Doesn't matter to me. Matters to him. But I had a ton of funny comments that I thought, anyways, I laughed at. And now they're gone forever and nobody's going to see them. So in any event, real quick, here's the box. FMS Hummer EV. I'm surprised I have it because in another video I mentioned to everybody on my last Exploring the Mind that I've had problems with FMS and their customer service, and I've reached out to them through email to follow up on some orders, to get some clarification on things between the US and Canada and ordering and can't, and I've had no response whatsoever. And because I've also got a Rock Hobby Atlas on order, and about a week ago I got a hold of someone on their quote-unquote live chat. It could be AI, but live chat. And they said, yeah, no problem, I'll fix this for you. Because what I said was, if there's no blue in stock, which there was when I ordered it, but then 2 days later when I went to just double check the status, all of a sudden they're out of stock in blue. And I get timing. Anyway, so I said, can I please have the yellow? She said, or they said, they'll get back to me within 24 hours. 4 or 5 days went by, nothing. I emailed them, no response. I go on the website, this thing from sitting there for about a month with a ready to ship comment on it. I'm like, well, that's a long time to sit there to be ready to ship, and it's in stock, yada, yada, yada. And you can get it in Canada. Anyways, I get a hold of somebody yesterday on the live chat. Second time. I couldn't believe it. And he says, actually, this thing has already been sent out. It's almost at your post office. He said, it's gone through customs. It's gone through everything. It's with Canada Post. You should have it any time. And I'm not lying. When I finished my call with him and said, thank you, he confirmed the yellow one is being sent out. And I get an email on my phone 15 minutes later. Canada Post delivery. I go, and this thing's sitting there. So anyways, that guy worked miracles, but regardless, I'm still waiting for the Atlas. So anyways, I get this. I'm excited, right? Beautiful box. As usual, it's got that nice styrofoam container that protects them nicely, really nicely. Good job on FMS for that. It is the FCX18, obviously the officially licensed Hummer EV from GMC. I'm like, fantastic. Well, first thing I was going to do, though, was I was replacing the wheels. Because when I looked at reviews on them, people said they were really top heavy because the wheels were really tucked under the body. So it gave it a really kind of a thin high stance. I thought, okay, well, I'm not crawling this thing. I'm going to trail around on it and maybe crawl up a few little things, but nothing where I really need to worry. In any event, I'd already had some other tires and rims, and I thought I'll put them on because I think they'll look nice. Having said that, these are nice stock wheels. Like, there's a lot of plastic stock wheels that you get, and you know, they look toyish and kind of silly, but you know, these are beadlock. They're a 4-screw plastic beadlock, but they've got a nice look to them. I have to give them that. And the tire is nice, and it's a nice soft tire. There's no foam in it. If you wanted to put one in, I'm sure you could, but there's no foam, so I'm sure it runs really well on these tires. And from the videos I've seen, it does. So, but I took them off. So in here, you obviously get your charger. You get your transmitter, which I'm going to be talking about in a minute. There's your charger there. You get a little baseball hat for your driver that comes inside there, and that's pretty much it, that kind of stuff. And you get a bunch of license plates. So for all those people who complained in my videos that, oh, you know, put a license plate, put a driver in there, it's a ghost car, put some license plates, and you people know who you are. I took them last night and I plastered license plates on every vehicle I could, all for you. So there's the box, and then here, ta-da, is the vehicle. So these are the Endura, that's a surprise for later. These are the Endura 1-inch, they're an offset wheel, so I think the center's back. You get a couple millimeters extra, which is nice because if you look at the wheels on that, you see how they stick out a little. Now the body flares out a bit, so if you measure it with the very edge of the wheel well, the body, it's flush. It's pretty much flush, but because it angles down, it gives the perception that it's coming out a bit. Now imagine these tires, right? And if you're into tucking like Toe Shifter, so these tires would be totally under there. So from the top, it would look like you didn't even have tires on this car. And if that's the look you're going for, that's cool. Good for you. I will not criticize. Sorry, my car's a little fingerprinty that's the problem with black, right? I got the white, but I like the black. I think the gold rims look cool on it. I think it gives it a different kind of a look. These tires, while they are a little wider than stock, probably 3 millimeters, they are a little shorter, which is fine because people were saying with this one a little bit on the stock, it was getting a little bit of grab and rub on the body. So I figured, okay, give myself a couple millimeters and I give myself some room to play. But beautiful looking truck, beautiful body, sparkle in the paint job. Really nice decals. If you look here, they're not stickers, or I don't know what you can feel them. They're raised part of the body, but beautiful. You don't see that white sticker around them that you see in a lot of stuff, and it makes it look cheap, right? Real door handles molded into the body. Got some nice mirrors. Really great detail. You have the interior, which is pretty shallow, so you don't have much legroom in there, but it comes with your driver, which is fine with me. It beats me trying to find something to stick in there. Some nice detail. If you look, I like the way they put the brand, the FMS brand, on the chassis, and then the FCX18 at the back. It's got just all the detail on the body, right? These side rails here, just a beautiful job. 3 windshield wipers. Didn't know they had 3 windshield wipers on this thing, but I think that's kind of cool. that's it. It's got a little hole for a tow hook, but the one they send you is that grapple looking one, like a claw, which the only time I see those personally is if it's on like a Jeep from the 1940s, from the war. So what I've got is I've got just a tow hitch here I never used, a regular one with a ball. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drill a couple holes and mount that on there, and I can pull the trailer with it. So that's great. So everything's going good. They give you a nice manual. There's a lot of stuff in this manual, man. Tells you how to do your dip switches there to adjust from whether it's forward brake reverse, or just forward reverse, which I have it in. Number one is up, so it's like they call it a crawl mode. Number two is your battery. And obviously this is a LiPo, so you're gonna have that down. And then your 3 and your 4, there's different configurations, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows, which configures your drag brake. So you go from 0 to 50 to 75 to 100%. I set mine at 75%. That's been my go-to. That seems to work for me for the type of driving I do with these things. That's it. Sometimes I'll put them at 50 because, you know, if you got a vehicle that's back heavy, let's say, and you're going down a hill, or even, you know, up a hill, and it's going to hold you there. So if you're front or back heavy and you're going to have the tendency on an incline, depending on the incline, to go back, then maybe I'll set it to like a 50%. So I think my LC80, my FCX18 Toyota, I think that one I've got at 50% because it's got a tendency to want to go forward and go back. It's the way the thing is built. But this one I'll set at 75 and we'll see how it goes. So I get this thing. I'm like, this is really nice. If you look at the bottom, it's got metal links on the bottom and the top. The top is a wishbone. Okay, I have no problem with that. The front is a metal link on the bottom. The top is a plastic wishbone. Why they would put a metal one here and a plastic one here, I don't know. It is what it is. You've got plastic drive shafts. I'm gonna have to see if I can tighten that guy. It's a little loose. From what I heard, there's plastic gears in this except for the steering servo, which is metal. As far as I'm concerned, I'm annoyed at the steering servo and the ESC on this at the moment. Hence my vid where I kind of went off a bit on this thing and then took it down because I thought people didn't want to hear me complain. It's got a nice light set up. This whole front bar lights up. You've got turn signals at the front. You have no turn signals at the back. I don't get that. I'm not sure why you would get no turn signals at the back. They've got them in the front. I'm pretty sure in order to have this on the road, you need turn signals on the back because it's a licensed model. They're trying to make it after the original one. But in any event, that's what happens with that. You can have brake lights, but that's if you have the forward brake reverse set up. The way I've got it set up with the forward reverse, you don't have it, so these lights are just on all the time. What I thought would be cool, because every car has this third brake light now, I thought it'd be cool if that lit up, if they did something with that, but I'm sure could always do something in the future if I really had nothing else to do. So there it is. You got oil shocks. The compression out of the box, these things were turned down about halfway on all 4. So I'm gonna play with them. I'm not sure what kind of oil they have in them. What I might do is I'm gonna put the spring all the way up and see what it's like. It's a pretty thin spring. And what I might do is put some thicker weight oil in it rather than have it cranked down. So I'll see about that. One of the things I really like on this is how the body comes on and off. And I'm gonna get my shirt here. I originally had my shirt down when I was, taking this thing apart, doing my original unboxing. And then when I found out it was broken, of course my instinct is to get pissed off, and the shirt was getting in the way, and I started taking the body off and not giving a crap anymore because I was about to throw this thing in the garbage. So now I've got scratches on the roof, but I'm gonna take some wax and hopefully buff those out, or just take it out, roll it down a hill, and add it to some more some more scratches. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. So, as far as opening this thing, you've got two little, you'll see this on the TRX 4M. They've got one at the front, one at the back. They've got two here, little clips that you basically push in and they lift up. And you can see the clips in there and they just go into that body, sorry, like that. And it's nice and tight, like you got to give it a good push to get it on, which I like, so you know your body's solid, and when you do roll it somewhere or drop it, it's not going to fly off. Now the cool part of this is then all you do is you push forward and it comes off. So you've got two little clips here, I guess you could say, and they slide into those two holes at the front right here, which is nice, and they're nice and solid. So again, you take it, you slide those in, pump this at the back, shut it down, and you're good to go. So easy to get the body off. One of the good things I will show you is that the on-off switch is under here. So in order to turn it off and on, you're not constantly taking the body on and off. Now I pull my batteries after every time I use it, but if I'm out somewhere, rather than, you know, okay, I'm done trying to get the body off and turn the thing off. Some of them aren't easy. This one is. Some of them are not easy to get off. So I like the fact that they've got the switch down there, and I'll show you a little more of that. So there you've got your, it's a 180 50T motor in this, 2-speed. So you've got your servo here, which will help with your speeds. You've got your ESC receiver combo. You've got your, under here, you've got your metal geared servo, your battery, which is a 900 milliamp, yeah, LiPo with your typical FMS strap going across. The book says you'll get about 45 minutes out of this battery. I think it depends on how you drive it. If you're one of those people that I've talked about before, that you're on an incline and you're, and you're bouncing the thing and you're just spinning the tires like crazy, you're gonna burn out of the battery fairly quick. I've driven these things for an hour with no issue with this kind of battery. So here's where the problems start. So my problem is, and I will nutshell it for you, my transmitter did not bind to the receiver. I thought, okay, I've never had that before, but I went to the book and I said, okay, how do you bind these? So what I have to do, so now I'll give you an example. I turn it on. I turn the vehicle on. Oh, I gotta hook up the battery. Hang on. Might help if I did that. See, I'm not a liar. I don't leave it hooked up. Okay, so this is on. I turn on the car. It's gonna flash red real fast. Nothing's connecting. Normally you can just hit your wheel here and it'll go zzzz and it'll give you, and you'll be connected. Doesn't connect, and then that's gonna go to a slow red flash. So, turn this off. I gotta fix that. I gotta reattach that better so it's tighter. Turn this off. They say to bind, you gotta hit the bind button, hold the bind button down, turn this on, it'll flash, stop, turn this on now, and you're connected. Problem is, every time I turn this off, it won't automatically bind again. And then, as it's sitting here on, it will unbind, I guess if that's a word. It will not be bound anymore. So I didn't know what to do with that. I Googled it. I couldn't get a straight answer. Then what happens, and I'll show you. For my steering, I was getting a little bit of a, so from the steering servo, I could hear a zzz, zzz, and my wheels would just kind of go zzz, zzz, and I'll show you. They would move. If I had the steering dual rate down to 0, which makes no sense because, call me crazy, but I want to steer this thing, not just drive straight. And okay, here you can see it. I'm going to move it over. You can't hear it that well, but if you look, See how the tires are turning? They go zit, 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 zit. And again, if I turn the dual rate all the way down, stops. I turn it up, it starts doing that thing. Now it's not doing it because I don't think it's bound. Hang on a sec. No, it's still bound. There you go. It's doing it again. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set my dual rates. I'm gonna go throttle dummy. Okay, here you can really see it. So watch. So that's with the dual rate all the way up, which technically you should be able to do. But sometimes the servos will stop and your wheel will want to keep the vehicle turning. I get that. There's a bit of the throw there. So what I've done is, so I'm gonna go, oh, come on, throttle, dual rate. So turn it, so there's all the way, and I'm gonna turn it back just a bit. So when I turn the wheel on this, when this stop, these stop. I don't know if you can see it there. I'll turn it. We're good. Okay. Other way, double check it. Done. Perfect. Problem is I still get my zit zit little thing going on. And this will not bind after a while. But while I have it hooked up, let me show you lights, speed. So what I've done is I reached out to FMS again. And I guess I should have bought a lottery ticket yesterday because 2 different times I got somebody on their live chat or AI chat, whatever you want to call it. And I was blown away because all my emails have been ignored and I've tried to get on the chat before. I did the math as far as the time change and the days, and nobody was ever there. It was never open, and I got 2 people, and they helped me. So I spoke to somebody about this. They asked me to take some video and show them. They said they were going to send it to their tech department. I just basically said, I've done the binding thing. I laid off of the dual rate a tiny bit, right, to bring them back, and it didn't solve the problem. And the binding, again, it'll just unbind on its own, and then the next time I go to use it, I've got to bind. Is that a huge deal? No, I guess not, because I turn this on, so now when I turn this on, I just hold the bind button. But what does it mean? Like, what's the problem? I don't want to just say, oh, I'm fine with it, and then realize that's some sort of ESC issue that I'm going to have a problem with later. So anyways, here is, I think we're still on. There's your lights. So your channel 4 are your lights. So this whole thing lights up, which is nice. You get your rear lights, which are nice and bright. I like that. Then when you hit it again, you'll get a high beam across the front. Your rear lights stay the same, which makes sense. On my car, my rear lights don't get higher when I put high beams on. You push it again, you'll get your 4-way flashers. Again, there are none in the back. And then push it again and everything's off. Speed-wise, I think it's pretty good. I like the motor on this. So this is your channel 3 up here. There are 3 positions on it, but obviously a lot of the time middle is neutral. But on this, you still get something out of it. Okay, hold on, I gotta look up my throttle. Hang on a second here. I'm gonna crank this guy all the way up. Okay, so first gear. It's got some nice slow control. If you look at it there, nice and slow. And I can still hear my thing going zit, 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 zit. I'm going to, hold on, my throttle trim here. There's someone in the middle, okay. There's that. Here's high speed. So that thing can move, eh? Excuse me. And again, you still have some pretty decent control on the high speed. Now, not as you did on slow, because if you did, then they would just make this a single gear motor. But the low speed's pretty good. If you put it in the middle, you get an even lower. Like the wheels will move, but this is technically neutral, right? So there's your slow. There's your, and it's got that. So I don't know if that's something to do with the electronics in it. Even if I turn the throttle dual rate down, it still does it, right? So there's your, so something's wrong there. And then there's your high. So yeah, this thing will move if you needed to. So there it is. So I'm waiting to hear from FMS, and I basically said, if you can just send me a new ESC combo receiver and a new servo, I'm happy with it. I'll switch them out. I got no problem with that. I'm not looking for a new truck or anything. Again, you can hear that. Hang on here. Yeah, if you can hear that, I'll put it next to the mic. And if you look at the wheel, see it doing that little jumpy thing? So thing's a little twitchy, but in any event, it is what it is. This is my one of many FMS products. Until recently, I've never had to reach out to them. I ordered things, they were sent and tracked, and it was no problem. Maybe they got busy over the holidays, and who knows, but still. And now, so hopefully they'll send me the guts for that. And that's it. That's my quick review. This is my 4th video now, and I don't know if I've missed anything that I should have talked about. I got my little trailer hitch I'm going to put on. Tires, I'm liking it. So, toe shifter, if you want to, technically, they're not really. They're still tucked, technically. Down here, they're not, because the fender goes down, but I think they might be out maybe 2 millimeters, which I think is good, because I don't know why anybody would want to have their tires so far in on their truck that you can't even see them. But hey, man, you do you. You do you. Okay, that's it. Thanks, everybody. Like, subscribe, share. I will give you guys an update as to what FMS are going to do. The person I spoke to said they are going to get back to me within 24 hours. And I told her, or him, I said, I've heard that before, and it doesn't happen. Like when I asked for the color change, they said, we'll get back to you and confirm. And the guy said, yeah, everything's done. They're about to ship out your yellow one. I said, well, nobody got back to me and confirmed that. It was 4 or 5 days of radio silence. So, and then she promised me that she was going to keep on top of my little mechanical, I keep putting it in the front here, a little mechanical issue, and make sure that I got a response today as to what their tech team says. So we'll go from there. So I was really annoyed yesterday because I was excited to get this, and then, you know, something brand new, especially, and I got it, they put a quality assurance sticker in this thing. So I'm going to call bullshit on their quality assurance and their little sticker that says passed, because if they had just turned this on, they would have known it didn't pass. They could have looked at they put it, like I said, turn it on, doesn't bind it, but don't assume that just because you bound it, it's still bound. right, there's a quality process here that wasn't followed, and then for the steering servo. So all these things happened, and then it was just sent out, but it said they used their quality assurance program. So either, because a lot of the time companies, when you're cutting corners, one of the things you do cut out is quality assurance. You make it, you hope your design is good, and you hope for the best. Then what you also could do is you could have a quality assurance program that doesn't exist, but you just put a sticker on something in a little round cardboard thing in a box and say it did. So I don't know. You guys, not sorry, my dog's circling on his bed. I'm not sure how this made it out with those issues. If they were looking at quality assurance, yeah, I checked all the wires, I pulled everything out. There's no nip in any of the wires that I can see. The connectors are fine. I put them back in. Everything seems solid. So I will let you guys know what's going on. Like, subscribe, share. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.